Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to take a look at the solo catalog. There's only 4 of them. Of Donald Fagen, of course, founding member, vocalist, and keyboard player and songwriter of Steely Dan. He's got 4 solo albums that are all pretty remarkable. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure why we just never got around to this before, but we're doing it now. Better late than never, I always say. So I will kind of preface this with saying that all 4 of these albums are highly enjoyable, arguably as good, if not better, than like the last couple of Steely Dan albums that we got. I know, pretty strong words there. But yeah, in kind of revisiting this catalog again, and I've been listening to these fairly regularly over the last bunch of years, I find that there's a lot to love on these, and my order and ranking of these could probably change any time. So kind of the way I'm ranking them today, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks, and even last night I'm like, I switched one around, and then this morning I'm like, oh man, I feel bad putting that one at the bottom. But I'll just say that even though you have to have a number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1, my number 4 I really like a lot. So none of these are bad by any means. And I think, one of them is ranked a little higher than I originally thought because it's the last one that I got. And I've been playing it quite a bit. And I think it's just kind of really fresh in my mind, and I'm enjoying it a hell of a lot. So for today, the order you're going to get is the order you're going to get. Ask me next week. I might think a little bit differently. I think my number 1 would stay the same. It's the 2, 3, and 4 that are just about equal as far as I'm concerned. So let's jump into this, shall we? So I'm going to go at number 4. Again, it's a great album, but something's got to go at number 4. I'm going to go with Morph the Cat from 2006. Okay, that's his 3rd album right there. The last one of the kind of Nightfly trilogy. Fagen once again working with a large cast of musicians, as he does on his solo albums, as most of the Steely Dan albums are. So there's lots of different musicians and singers from the jazz, pop, and rock world, and it's a really lively set of jazzy pop numbers. Title track is really great. It kind of pulses and grooves. H Gang, I love, one of my favorites on the album. That's a real just high energy cooking piece with lots of grooves, lots of tasty guitar licks. Plenty of engaging vocals on that as well. You got darker tracks like What I Do and The Great Pagoda of Fun. Really, whether it's the more up-tempo, brighter stuff or the more laid-back, atmospheric, and I say dark, but it's not really dark. It's just not as kind of upbeat as some of the other stuff. All equally really good. You got I can only call it's the funky junkie track on this particular album, Bright Nightgown. Absolutely love that. Really, really good one. What else we got here? You got the snappy jazz Security Joan, the really kind of mysterious, it's kind of tranquil but kind of mysterious. It's got that weird allure to it. Mary Shut the Garden Door, which is, again, it's kind of like jazzy pop. Really, really good stuff. Most of the tracks on here are a little bit longer. I mean, most of these are longer songs. I think the reason why I put this one at number 4 is I don't find this album quite as hook-laden as the other 3, but it's still a complete joy to listen to. And like I said, arguably, even this one is stronger than those last 2 Steely Dan studio albums that we got, which are fine, but I kind of enjoy these a little bit more for whatever reason. So yeah, so Morph the Cat coming in at number 4. Dynamite album, really good. Number 3. And my number 3 and number 2 flip-flop the most here. And at the last minute, I decided to make another change. Again, this could flip-flop tomorrow. But I'm going to go with 1993's Kamikariad. All right, his 2nd solo album. There he is down below there, right? Looking all sorts of suave there. Here, this is an interesting album because here he's working with Walter Becker. Again, for the first time in a bunch of years, Walter produced this album, plays guitar and bass on this album, all the guitar solos, which, then leads to Steely Dan getting back together for a bunch of shows and things like that, and albums and so on. And it's a really solid album of jazz, pop, and rock, which is kind of sums up Steely Dan quite a bit. You got the quirky Trans Island Skyway. Counter Moon is nice and funky. Got good beats on that. Really nice song. Springtime's got a killer horn section. Really catchy chorus on that. I like that a lot. Speaking of catchy, you can't go wrong with Tomorrow's Girl. You got the kind of sweeping, dreamy pop of Florida Room. On the Dunes is another great song. It's a lengthy song. Got these really luxurious, just totally engaging sounds. It's an excellent album. It's a lot of fun. Very bright, vibrant, very upbeat and catchy. Again, these are really good albums. And it's funny because if you just take the Donald Fagen off and put Steely Dan on any of these 4 albums, they sound like Steely Dan albums. They're just as engaging as the classic Steely Dan albums. Maybe, a little more vocal oriented, not as many kind of extended instrumental bits here and there, but there's plenty of them, right? But just as enjoyable as many of the Steely Dan albums. I think if you like everything from like Asia, Gaucho, the final 2 albums, all those, the last handful of Steely Dan albums, these are all like fairly similar. So if you love those, you'll love these. All right, number 2. So again, this is kind of a surprise. This is 2012's Sunken Condos, the last thing that he ever did as a solo album goes. Really good. It's a little more laid back than some of the other ones. It's kind of laid back, jazzy, bluesy, chock full of groove. It's like some people call this kind of like his yacht rock album. Whatever. But it's got some great songs on here. Slinky Thing just oozes coolness. Such a great track. Great vocal by Fagen on this. You got really nice female vocals on most of these albums. I'm Not the Same Without You. Just a soaring good pop tune. What else we got here? We got the sultry Memorabilia. You got the bluesy Weather in My Head, which has some killer horns and guitar. A lot of great instrumentation on these albums. I mean, he always works with top-notch musicians. Out of the Ghetto completely cooks. It's got rock, it's got funk, lots of firepower. That's probably the most up-tempo rockin' song on the album, and a really, really good one. What else we got here? Good Stuff, also kind of funky, pretty tight grooves. It's definitely got that thing going on. As is Planet de Ronda, another really good one. For me, I think this is his most underrated album, and I think the reason why I rank it so high, because like I said, it's the most recent one that I picked up. I've had the others for quite some time, but I also think this is the one that's like the most under the radar. Like nobody ever talks about this one. They always talk about the first 3, the Nightfly trilogy, and I think this one is completely underrated and just as enjoyable, if not more so, than a couple of the others. Really, really good stuff. You get great CD artwork and stuff there. So Sunken Condos today from 2012 is my number 2. Could change. They're all great though. Coming in number 1, no surprise, The Nightfly from 1982. So this basically first solo album. Steely Dan disbands in 1981 after Gaucho. This one, he's on his own, but he pulls in a lot of folks that he's worked with in Steely Dan throughout the years. Gary Katz produces this one. No Walter Becker though, but a lot of other, familiar faces on here. It's a pretty brief album. It's not that long. There's only 8 tracks, and it's, it's under 40 minutes. But it's very Gaucho sounding, I think. It's got that pop jazz thing going. It's pretty laid back, but the melodies are just absolutely irresistible. I mean, you got like IGY. Terrific song. It's just this catchy slice of jazz pop. It's got the Brecker Brothers on horns. Just a wonderful song. I remember back in the day, like in the late 80s, early 90s, I was listening to a lot of like smooth jazz radio stations out of New York City, and they used to play IGY all the time. Great song. Green Flower Street, breezy, funky pop. You got Larry Carlton's great guitar work on this track and most of the album. And, Larry Carlton, what a special talent, and he's played on so many great Steely Dan albums, and he's all over this one. Really, really great to hear. What else we got? Ruby Baby is another really good one, which has just a terrific hook. It's got lots of groove. Again, it's kind of bluesy, kind of jazzy. You got the keyboard and guitar drenched New Frontier, another really upbeat track on here. The title track is excellent. You got the quirky, jazzy pop of the Goodbye Look. And then, of course, which has some more great guitar playing from Mr. Carlton on it. I think it's really strong start to finish. And I think if you close your eyes, it's basically an extension of Asia and Gaucho. And, it's not quite the classic that Asia is, but it's just as enjoyable as Gaucho, maybe even more so, depending on your mileage, right? So there you have it. Number 1, The Nightfly. Number 2, Sunken Condos. Number 3, Kamikariad. And number 4 is Morph the Cat. But actually, they're all winners here. There's no losers here. This is the Fagen solo catalog. Can't go wrong with any of them. If you're a Steely Dan fan and you don't have these, what the hell are you waiting for? I mean, really, what are you waiting for? Because they are just, they sound like Steely Dan albums. They're just as fun, it's just as enjoyable. And so let us know how you rank the Donald Fagen solo catalog in the comments below. Let us know what you think about these albums. Which ones do you favor? Hopefully you like all of them, but if not, that's okay too. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up here on Sea of Tranquility, we've got tomorrow, we have UK Connection, starring Simon Bray and Stephen Reed. The discussion is all about power metal veterans from Sweden, Sabaton. Then we've got on Sunday, we've got album homework assignment. Myself and Martin Popoff are having our rematch, and that is going to be hosted by Jamie Lazlos. That's coming up. Also happening probably this weekend is you're going to get a album ranking, my top 10 albums, studio albums from Mr. Neil Young. That's happening this weekend. In the works, over the next week or so, you're going to see album rankings of John McLaughlin, fusion guitar legend, with George LeMay and Andy Edwards and myself. Jamie Laszlo and I are going to rank the albums of very cool heavy metal doom band Chemist. That's also coming up. And what else? And all sorts of other stuff. So Hudson Valley Squares on Monday and the Prog Scene on Tuesday. Wednesday, new album review day. We've got coming up next Wednesday, we've got the new solo album from former Black Sabbath vocalist Mr. Tony Martin. We've also got the brand new Jethro Tull, the Zealot Gene, coming up as well. And we've got the brand new release from Soma. I've got new Lana Lane to talk about. I've got new John Lodge. I've got all sorts of stuff here. And we've got the Monsters Den next week. We've got Chris Allo and Craig Kaminsky and myself are going to rank our top 10 favorite Lucio Fulci Italian horror films. That's coming up next Thursday. And then Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff and myself, we're going to be talking about our favorite reunions. That's right. Those bands we love who went away for a while and came back strong. So that's the topic of conversation next Friday. So stay tuned for that and more here on Sea Tranquility. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell. We also have the link to our Ko-Fi page below for channel donations, as well as the link to our merch page where you can get all sorts of cool SOT stuff. So make sure you check all that out as well. And we'll see you here on SOT, because we are here together all the damn time. I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Bye-bye.